It's February 2023 in Lagos, and the city is a pressure cooker. A botched naira redesign by the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) has drained cash from the streets. ATMs are out of service, bank apps are crashing, and people are stuck, unable to pay for basics like bread or Okada rides. Frustration is palpable until Opay steps in. With its slick app and instant transfers, Opay becomes a lifeline, letting Nigerians send money, pay bills, and keep life moving. But this isn't just a story of a fintech hero saving the day. It's the story of how Opay exposed the cracks in Nigeria's banking system, forcing banks to face their shortcomings and sparking a financial revolution. Let's dive in. Opay didn't start as a banking disruptor. Launched in 2018 by Opera Software with Chinese backing from billionaire Yaohe Zhao, Opay dreamed of becoming Nigeria's super app. It offered ride-hailing, O-Ride, food delivery, O-Food, and logistics, all at cutthroat prices to hook users. Lagosians loved the cheap motorcycle rides and seamless app experience, but by 2022, Opay pivoted, ditching rides and food to focus on financial services. It was a smart move. With a mobile wallet tied to phone numbers, Opay made banking accessible to millions, especially the unbanked, who made up half of Nigeria's 200 million people in 2020. By 2023, Opay had 30 million users, 500,000 agents, and 100,000 merchants, processing billions of naira in transactions. Its growth was staggering, but it wasn't just about numbers. Opay tapped into a gap the banks had ignored: simplicity and speed. No need for long queues or paperwork, just download the app and you are banking. This accessibility exposed a key weakness in Nigerian traditional banks: their failure to reach the masses, especially in rural areas where branches were scarce. The 2023 Naira redesign crisis was a turning point. The CBN's plan to phase out old notes backfired, leaving cash scarce and digital banking in chaos. Traditional bank apps, plagued by outdated tech, couldn't handle the surge in online transactions. Failed transfers, delays of up to 10 days, and frozen accounts became the norm. Nigerians were livid, venting on social media about banks like GTB and Zenith. Meanwhile, Opay's app was a rock in the storm. Its instant transfers, even across banks, and its 300,000-strong POS agent network made it a go-to for cash withdrawals. Opay just makes things easy, said Yusuf Olawale, a boat driver in Lagos. Social media echoed his sentiments, with users like Adetola Barros calling Opay perfection at its peak in quotes. The company's PR manager, Femi Hansen, boasted that Opay had invested heavily in infrastructure to support a cashless Nigeria, and it showed. By 2023, Opay handled 80% of mobile money bank transfers and 20% of non-merchant POS transactions. The crisis laid bare the bank's Achilles heel. Their tech wasn't ready for a digital-first world. Opay didn't create the problem. It just exposed how unprepared the Nigerian traditional banks were. Opay's rise held a mirror to Nigeria's banking system, exposing flaws that had festered for years. First, there was the tech gap. Banks relied on legacy systems that couldn't scale during high demand, while Opay's modern infrastructure offered near 100% uptime. Second, banks were slow to innovate. Features like Opay's free transfers up to 3 daily and cashback on airtime purchases made banks' fee-heavy services look outdated. Thirdly, banks had failed the unbanked. In 2019, only 39% of Nigerians had formal bank accounts, and branches were often urban-centric. Opay's agent network and mobile-first approach brought banking to street vendors and rural traders, showing what inclusion could look like. But Opay wasn't flawless. Reports in 2023 revealed it was auto-creating accounts based on phone numbers, raising privacy concerns. A Business Day expose showed fraudsters could open accounts in other names, exploiting weak Know Your Customer (KYC) processes. In 2024, the CBN halted new customer onboarding for Opay and other fintechs over these issues, and the Kano Sharia court sentenced an Opay agent for fraud. These missteps highlighted another banking flaw: regulation. Banks tightly regulated couldn't match Opay's agility, but Opay's loose KYC exposed risks the CBN couldn't ignore. Opay's success wasn't just a slap in the face, it was a wake-up call. Banks started fighting back. By 2024, some banks like Sterling Bank adopted homegrown tech like CBAS to cut costs and improve services. Open banking gained traction, letting banks and fintechs share data to offer seamless services. GT Bank and Access Bank rolled out updated apps, trying to match Opay's user experience. The CBN's 2006 consolidation had already made banks financially robust, and now they were leaning into tech to stay relevant. Opay also showed banks the power of the unbanked market. Fintechs boosted financial inclusion from 56% in 2020 to 74% by 2024, per the GSMA, with Opay leading the charge. Clementina Agudosi, a Lagos-bred seller, used Opay for quick payments but kept her savings in a bank, showing how the two systems could coexist. Banks began targeting small merchants and rural customers, inspired by Opay's agent model. Did Opay destroy Nigeria's banks? No, but it exposed their vulnerabilities and forced change. Banks weren't collapsing. Top players like Zenith and UBA still raked in billions in revenue, but they were losing ground to fintechs. Opay's 26 million users and 22% e-wallet market share by 2024 showed it wasn't just a fad. Its Night Guard and large transaction shield features addressed fraud concerns, proving it could adapt. Meanwhile, the CBN's 2024 crypto crackdown reminded fintechs they weren't untouchable. The real story is coexistence. Opay exposed bank tech lags, high fees, and urban bias, but it also showed what's possible: instant transactions, wide reach, and user-friendly design. Banks are now investing in tech and partnerships, blurring the line between fintech and traditional banking. Opay didn't topple the system, it lit a fire under it. Today, Opay is a household name, processing billions in transactions and serving millions, but the banks are still here, evolving to meet the challenge. The future lies in collaboration: banks handling complex services like loans, fintechs like Opay driving payments and inclusion. As Nigeria's digital economy grows, Opay's role as a disruptor has been less about destruction and more about exposure, showing banks what they could be if they dared to innovate. For now, Nigerians keep tapping their Opay apps, and the banks are watching, learning, and racing to catch up. Thank you for joining us today. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you later.